So what we look at next are ad groups. So why would you look at your ad groups? Generally, if your account has an overall really low click-through rate, first thing I look at are ad groups and whether the ad groups have well-themed keywords. So what do I mean by that? I mean by ad groups which the keywords which are in them are all related to each other. Because if the keywords are unrelated, what happens is that the ads that are shown do not match the keywords that are within the ad group. That's why it's really, really important to have keywords which are really well-themed grouped together, because it all leads to matching to the ad and the ad being relevant, which in turn leads to a high click-through rate. So if you have poorly themed ad groups, this leads to very poor account performance. So what do we look for? As I mentioned before, well-themed ad groups. And this is, I've explained this with an example. So take this particular account. Let's say this particular client
Is a plumber. They've got a
campaign,
and they've got a bunch of different ad groups. But
the mistake they've made is that within one ad group, they've put all these particular services which they offer: gas plumber, block drain, hot water installation, and generic term like plumber Sydney. Now, whilst they offer all these particular services, it's really bad practice to have it in one ad group, because let's say someone types in, let's say the ad that they have is only to do with a gas plumber. If someone types in a block drain, that gas ad is shown, as you can see on the right hand side is the ad that's shown, and that ad does not match block drain, hot water installation. It does match gas plumber, but there's no, you can't select which ad it will show. That's why you separate keywords out into the ad groups. And it's also a good practice not to have too many keywords per ad group. Even if they're well themed, I generally like to limit the number of keywords to being about 20 in one ad group. It's very hard to give a definitive limit to how many, but I find if you're getting above 20, then they start to deviate in terms of them relevance towards each other. There is no minimum. I have some ad groups which have 3 keywords in them, but they're all really well related and they're high traffic keywords, and so they're well placed to be with each other, even though there's only 3 keywords. Another area I look for when I'm trying to optimize ad groups is the search impression share report. And this, I'll show you in a live example, but this is the percentage of the times that your ad is shown relative to when they were eligible to be shown. And I'll show you in an example what I mean by this. But I'm in a live account now. I am not showing you the name of the ad groups to protect this particular client, but the data is still relevant and will still be useful to apply to your account. So these are all the different ad groups, and they're all really, really well themed and tight keywords. And this way, I know the profitability of each ad group, and I can work out, therefore, the best bid price, and if it's worth increasing or bids for a particular ad group. Because the profitability of each keyword is going to be different, and each ad group is going to be different. And as you can see here, I have different bids for different ad groups. So it's really knowing your account really well as the type of the profitability that your client needs to get to work out the best bid. Looking at the search impression share report, the overall ad group impression share is about 87%, and I'm quite happy with that. It's very hard to get 100%, but what I look for is I rank my search impression share by the other way. And then I look for areas that I can improve this search impression share. And as I said, this is the number of times that my ad was shown versus the number of times that it was eligible to be shown. So I want it to be as high as possible. I want my ad to be shown every time it's eligible to be shown. And it's often a case of, let's say, running out of budget, or my bid's not high enough due to the ad position. So it warrants further investigation. But by looking at this shows me ad groups that I need to focus on as to why my ads are not being shown. It could be due to quality score. It warrants further investigation, but it allows me to hone in exactly on which particular keywords and ad groups are not being optimized as well as they could be. I will go in later modules, I'll go in more detail about other aspects which you can look at in
ad group level, but they're probably more relevant to talk about
in terms of
ads and ad extensions later. So stay tuned.